Hello and welcome to Captain Bob. Today I'm going to show you a little bit around my studio.
Captain Bob, he's my best friend and he should be yours too.
One of the first things you'll see in my videos is the backdrop. On the top I have most of my flight controls, the CH yoke that's extended, the Logitech Pro rudders, and the Thrustmaster. We also have a sign that says, "The bad news is that time flies. The good news is that you're the pilot." And we have the simulator. We have this 3D printed Boeing 747 and another quote that says, "Pilots take no special joy in walking. Pilots like flying." And we also have a Willy Jeep with a stormtrooper in it. It's remote controlled and it looks and works quite well. Overall, I think my background looks great, other than the fact that it's a little hard to light. Most of you are probably familiar with what's on scene, but now I'm going to take you a little bit behind the scenes. Right here we have one of the lights. It has a white light bulb inside of it to give good video lighting. I'm still experimenting with it to see the best lighting possible. I have this blue pencil box, and it keeps me organized and not having to put pencils everywhere and stuck in notebooks and stuff. I also have this super cool USB and SD card carrier. This can carry 8 USB sticks, 8 SD cards, and then 5 micro SD cards. I love it a lot, and soon I'm going to mount it to the shelf. By the way, the shelf is just a piece of laminated MDF with some just simple shelf brackets. Nothing too big. I think it's around 12 inches by 30, and it works great. You'll notice that right here I have 2 shoe boxes and my caliper in the middle. These shoe boxes have things that I've either cleared off the desk whenever I clean the desk off and put in here for later use, or things that I frequently need, like a small screwdriver or metric screws. Items like that. It's just really accessible, and I like it. Of course, you will have to dig through it if it's not completely organized. So one of my goals this year is to organize this. One of the items I put in here is this Captain Bob sticker that you can win if you participate in the survey in the link below. It's a sticker giveaway, and all of the information collected will help me make the channel better. I also have the second shoebox with the monitor for the future GPS I might make. I have these metric screws, calculators, there's a lot of math done. Oh, the Hobbs meter, some prototypes, and the multimeter, which is used a lot. We also have this USB hub, which is very useful. Right here I have this kit of wires that I'll use on the 737 for showing the what the wire goes to, basically. So similar to heli mesh, I'll go like red is positive, black is negative, yellow could be like switches, something like that. You might also notice I have my soldering or soldering equipment here. I have my helping hands, some flux, and some extra tips, solder, a soldering iron, and the soldering iron cleaner. I'm using the AUI 469 soldering iron, and in my experience it's a very good entry-level soldering iron. I love soldering with it. Here's my basic desk setup. Right now most of my flying is done on a Logitech X3D Pro. It's not the best joystick, but right now I'm just doing a lot of testing, and it's the smallest footprint of a joystick I have right now, and also it stores easily. For editing my videos I have a dual monitor setup, and I like having a more permanent setup, but I can also remove everything if I need to and work from just this computer. I have a pretty simple mouse right here and it works great, and I actually use a sheet of paper as a mouse pad because the desk does not want to work with that. I have almost all of my USB cords connected to this USB hub, and the first USB slot is a low-profile USB. It looks like a mouse dongle, but it's actually a USB stick, and I love it a lot because if you have a traditional USB stick, the handle kind of acts as a lever, and it's very easy to bend the USB stick. That's why I switched to this low profile one, and I love it because this has never happened. I have my simple mouse right here, and it works well. I might upgrade to a wireless one soon. And I also have a USB to micro SD adapter, which is super helpful for 3D printing. Then the last USB on the hub is the webcam. If I tweak a little bit of the settings, it's great for live streams, and I love how there is a permanent place for the laptop. Speaking of the laptop, this is a Sony Vaio laptop. I'll put the specs in the description below. Then we move over to the papers. So right here, this just floats around the studio. These are my daily goals. You can't see them today, but they're like film the configuration, do something like that. Today I did most of them, so that's great. Here's all my drafting for the accelerated simulator program. It's coming out in July. It will be basically a how-to step-by-step guide to build a flight simulator in 30 days. I'm mostly done. You'll hear more details about this coming to July. In the filing shelf, I guess, we have the calendar for the month. I haven't planned a lot yet, but videos and live streams and events go on here. I have a bunch of scratch paper, drafting paper, or engineer paper, and then I have a bunch of technical drawings in these. So I have some drawings of the yoke, some drawings of simulator plans, some 737 drawings, and this type of drawing. I also have the Marcus Pilot dimensions for the 737 when I do that in about June to July as well. I have my flight simulation engineering notebook with drawings for CAD, instruments, all super cool. Then I have my home cockpit logs. I haven't started the 737 yet, but I still have the log. I also have the Cessna log, which I started quite a while ago. All of these entries are super cheesy and hilarious. I'll have to start doing this again, but it's basically a cockpit simulator journal, and it's hilarious. I'll have to read it sometime or something. I also have this light box. I could use it for a little bit of lighting, but usually I use it for transferring drawings. Now let's go down. So right here I have the components box. Here are almost all of the components that you put on the simulator. There are rotary switches, servos, rotary encoders, switches, knobs, pretty much most of the things that go into the simulator. Then I also have this box with a bunch of wires. So here's my DuPont connectors so I can make my own jumper wires. Here are the potentiometers, the LEDs, the lights. We have some dimmers, and most of this is just wires and heat shrink on the bottom. We also have my toolbox. I like to keep this as empty as I can because it overfills quite easily and it's hard to dig through. I like to keep some pliers, tweezers, utility knives, and a lot of screwdrivers. Now we can move right over to my shoebox collection, kind of. I have a ton of plastic bags for keeping instruments that I'm working on in. It's really helpful to keep everything together. I also have a bunch of spare parts, USB cables, plastic panels, and then the rest of the shoeboxes are pretty much empty actually. Now we can go way right to the simulator box. So this is the box where I keep all of the components that are either hard to store, too big for the shoe boxes, or don't need to be accessed as often. So I have my RC simulator controller, because I use that about once a month. I have the headsets I use for the weekly live streams, and then other simulator parts that I won't need until later. On the left, you'll see that I have my camera bag. This just holds all of the camera accessories, and it's super nice because if I ever need to go, I can just pack the camera bag, the camera, and the tripod, and I'm good to go. If you move right, you'll see the 3D printer and the 2D printer. So I have all of the filament stored on the left, some of the parts I 3D printed, and then the Ender 3 3D printer. It's pretty easy to build, install, and get your first print. I'll leave a link in the description below on where you can get it, and I just print with PLA. It works well, and I've done the math, and it pays itself off, so that's nice. The 2D printer is an Epson printer that I just use if I need to print something out fast and don't want to walk all the way upstairs. It's kind of a lower quality printer than the one upstairs, so if I'm printing instruments, I'll use the upstairs one. Now if I walk around the studio, the only other things really are this light for the video. It's a homemade light reflector out of an old juice container, and then there's actually aluminum right here, which is kind of weird. If you walk back here, you'll see the jacket rack, my trumpet, my backpack, the trash cans, and then this comment wall. This comment wall has all of the comments, almost all of the positive comments that have been left on the YouTube channel. So if it's kind of cute with the symbolism, because if I think that the door has closed, which it is now, usually it's open, then I can just admire the pretty comments, which is quite nice. Hopefully you liked this video, and make sure to check out some of my other videos. If you didn't like this video, you can just send me an all caps paragraph long comment in the comment section below. Regardless, have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.